kitchen sink. We will chat, we will make you think. You will not want to go to the loo. You could miss a lot if you have that poo. Stay and watch and join in. Yeah. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Kitchen Sink. I'm Sarah Bridgman and this is
Lucy Orchard.
Lucy Orchard. I'm going to do it wrong. Am I facing the right way? Yes. Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
1 year we've been going. 1 year. This is our first year anniversary. Happy birthday, you.
I'm very aware the phone is ringing and I don't know how to answer the phone.
Okay, well, while they're waiting to answer the phone, welcome. If this is your first time watching us here at the Kitchen Sink, we will waffle on about a BS for the next half hour, but then we have a fantastic guest. We've got the wonderful Angela Barnes, and cannot wait to Angela. I know, I'm like, right, so Angela's been, not only has she been on TV, she's been on radio. I love her. And also, it's taken me a year to pluck up the courage to ask her to come on the show. And she went, yeah, no worries. And I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing. So I'm so chuffed. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So I'm very excited. But yeah, but also, we've got a lot going on this week, guys. We got me and Lucy. We're going to chat about what the hell we've been doing for the last year. We've also got Opinion Place coming up. Like, I know, you're always looking for, if only we had somewhere to talk about our opinions on the internet, and now we have. And also old and new. Oh, cat. Sorry, do you notice that? Cat.
Not my cat.
Yay. We've also got the old and new comedy review, which this week was my choice of James Acaster repertoire. So we got loads to crack on with. And also you, our lovely viewers, listeners, watchers, whatever, because we are a podcast as well as a TV show. So sometimes we might explain visuals. Quite often we forget. So apologies, anyone listening down the line. And you might be coming to us from Twitch, from Facebook, from YouTube. So you might not be able to see each other, have a chat with each other where you want to go. I'd recommend Facebook, but if you hate Facebook, there's always YouTubes and there's always Twitch. We all do YouTube. And you don't need an account to go on there. So, choose where you want to go if you want to see each other's comments. Otherwise, as Lucy has been showing you, we will be putting up the comments on the screen. And we love it when people join in. So join in. So, Lucy, how are you?
I'm level 39 on Pokemon Go. Is that what you're asking?
Oh my God. We have got some people that have been with us for the whole year. Hello, Ray. Hello, Ray Taylor. Hello, Hugh. Was it Hugh Janus? I was going to say Hugh Jackman then. So hello, happy anniversary to you guys. Well done for staying with us for so long. Oh, it's been fun, isn't it?
It has been fun. Recently, I've been very spoiled.
Oh. Happy birthday to you. Not only is it the Sink's annual feast.
Annual anniversary.
Why is my brain gone weird? Yeah, because it usually does. So yes, our anniversary is also your birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Did you know that song was about Martin Luther King? I didn't know. Civil rights, apparently, if you listen to according to Paul Dennis. So have a look at the lyrics. Cool. Would you like to chime in and tell us what happened? So Lucy, happy birthday. How does it feel to be 21 again?
Well, I've heard a rumor on the mill that because I've had 2 quarantine birthdays, I think Ray said Ignacio Lopez's maths is if you had a lockdown birthday, it doesn't count. So I've had 2 lockdown birthdays, which means I'm technically 38.
Yay! Oh my God, was it going to be a big 4-0 this year or in 2 years' time?
In 2 years' time.
Next year, you can do the big 4-0. Paul, tell us that Paul's in, everyone. Hello, Paul Dennis. Tell us about that song. I'm sure you told me it's about civil rights and not about being happy birthday at all. It's about something very serious. So you can tell us about that. Oh, so yeah, birthdays, anniversary. Anyway, enough about you, Lucy. What about our anniversary? Have you noticed I've done my hair?
Can I go straight in with my favorite moment or moment
of the last year?
It's got to be Sean Harry's. It has got to be the Sean Harry's interview. It started off with her having to open the curtains for the internet to work.
Yeah. We had a lot of Wi-Fi issues, didn't we, this year?
We've had a lot of Wi-Fi issues. And then it was just a case about just the fact that we chatted about everything and anything from like Lanishan Leisure Centre and their wave machine. And at the very, very end, we were both absolutely half cut. And you were like, so how did you get started then?
Yeah, and that's become a favourite. We're much more polished now, and we try now. I got to say, for the first 8 months of the last 12 months of the podcast, of the show, I think I was so like this, my mental go-to is always, who wants to see me? No one's going to want to see me. And so mentally, I was like, I'm not even going to try because it's not, it's not going to continue. It's fine. It's just for now. And now I'm like, actually, I'm really enjoying it. And, I love seeing all the chat and everything. So now we're trying. So if you've seen us over on Twitter, it's like, poor Lucy, a bit like for the first 8 months, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Lucy's on her own, been doing all the marketing, all the Twittering. I've literally been going, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to turn up and you're lucky to have me. And because it was all a pure fear and anxiety thing. And then what about a month ago, 2 months ago, I was like, let's try and make this happen. let's give Twitter a go. So please follow us on Twitter and you get to see my random tweets. Ooh, we've got it in. Paul Dennis. Before we move on to Paul, Lucy, this has got to be shown love.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, but I'm going to notice it and go, thank you, Kat. Oh, I'm assuming me.
We're assuming it's the one who's brushed it.
No, I am chuffed. Here we go. Look, I'm chuffed because I couldn't do it. The last time I tried this, I couldn't do it. But if I'm like last minute, like 2 minutes, I'm like, bloody yeah, have that, cool. So I'm chuffed. So thank you very much, Kat. Appreciated. Right. So Martin Luther King. Paul Dennis says, yes, it's about the making of Martin Luther King Day in the US. Stevie, I think, wrote the song in response to those who opposed the celebration of Dr. King's birthday. Yeah. So next time you're like, happy birthday to you for a friend.
I'd like to.
Look at that. Happy birthday to you. Kitchen sink. Happy birthday.
Exactly. Right. Make a wish.
Right. Made.
Was yours Wanda Sykes as well?
Don't say it. It won't come true.
If you're watching Wanda, just slide into my DMs.
Oh, my word. I tell you what my wish was. Do you want me to tell you what my wish was?
Go on then.
Someone else to take over the marketing.
Well, we've taken our turns. I've done it. You've done it. It's somebody else's turn by now, surely.
The other day, I realised the other day, I'm like, oh my God, we are Wayne's World. Wayne's World. If anyone's seen that film, I saw that film. I was about 13, watching it in the cinema, and I'm like, this is amazing. And now I'm like, oh yeah, here we are, public access television. We are Wayne's World. Well done, us.
I said this to someone the other day. They were like, oh, this online content. And I was like, online content? Because you can put your computers and everything through the TV. It's just public access TV. That's all it is.
Exactly. That's us. Wayne's World. Big shout out to anyone that's doing this, because it's not easy, is it? Even just, putting a camera on and go, right, like, for the first, I don't know, however long, what was it like? Like Ray is saying, it's been an absolute joy watching the show develop. More power to you. Oh, bless your heart, Ray. We used to go, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, rock up, and I'd be like,
kitchen sink here. And also, I had a birthday present given to me, and I think it's because she's a fan of the show. But I think you're going to like it.
Go on then. Is it a vibrator? Ah! Yay! Oh, my cat's at the red. My cat mug's at the red. Look at your ears, though. You quite rightly pointed out that my ears.
You go for that last leg.
Yours like put little dimples in your cheeks.
Just take you back down memory lane. Do you remember in the first couple of shows we had trolls? We used to have Twitch trolls. And we used to tell them off. They'd then change their mind, apologise, and then become regular viewers for about 3 or 4 weeks. And then I think they'd do this. They'd think the angry ladies have done with them now, and they'd stop coming.
Yeah, that's because I'm very passive aggressive. I try hard not to be. But bless them, they turn up, go, oh yeah, we're going to have fun and do what we do on all the other channels, which from what I could see of Twitch was literally go around all the beautiful young lady channels where they were lots of gorgeous young ladies with full makeup, literally just going, just here to chat if anybody wants to chat. And trolls would just turn up and be mean to them. And then they'd rock up 2 hours and I'd be, you're having it. And you're 15. And we used to make fun of their names and stuff until one day I thought, oh God, I quite like, it would literally just be, what's happening with you, babes? Are you okay? What's happening at home? No one who is happy will turn up to have a go at someone. So something's wrong. And then they'd be like, okay, sorry, I was only having a bit of fun, Mrs. Patterson. It was really good fun. I enjoyed it.
On Twitch, I think it's just accepted that you can just randomly message in and be like, brown-haired one, lift your arms. Blonde, tell a joke. Brown-haired one, show us your feet. And it's like, this is not how this runs, with. That's not how we're doing this.
You're like, okay, I guess. All right,
yeah. Yeah, you do. And then there was one time we had Claire Ferguson Walker. I've messed it up, haven't I? It is Claire Ferguson Walker.
It is Ferguson. Yeah. Ferguson doesn't sound right.
Ferguson Walker. And we were talking about like mantras, and I've got this mantra. I splash my face 3 times every morning, and I go, I am bold, I am strong, I am confident, or anything like that, whatever the mood takes me. And a troll went on the chat and he went, you're not bold, you're not brave, and you're not confident. And it was like, are you trying to take on a 39-year-old woman with self-affirmation mantras? I don't think so.
I think you're the one that needs the self-affirmation, mate.
The blonde one says no.
But it's been a mad year. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. We're still going. If that makes it sound like, and now we're done. We're not. We're still going. We're going to have a couple of weeks left in this season. And then we're going to a little bit of a break and we're going to come back stronger than ever. But I want to say publicly, Lucy, I mean, the last year has been too many, moments that, like, even as I'm going through and doing little segments to like check out on Twitter, or that, like the BDSM that went out this week, and talking about also, and like meeting Shani as well. Like that time when Shani was teaching us about BDSM, and then we were like, you've got to come back and teach us more stuff. So she comes back, and that's where what Shani learned came from. And oh my God, it's just been so much fun. But I want to say publicly publicly to you, Lucy, if it wasn't for you, there's no way I'd be doing this. And I want to say thank you. And I never do I? And I'm always like, whenever Lucy in the past has been like, Sarah, thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, of course, because I'm amazing. Just to make you're welcome. Just to make you laugh. But so I want to say publicly thank you for forcing me to do stuff, forcing me out of my comfort zone. Thank you. And the culmination in that has been, asking TV's Angela Barnes to come on the show, who is coming on very shortly. So I just want to say thank you very much. And here's to the next year. Cheers, everybody.
I'm not advertising this as a good idea, but I have enjoyed the non-consensual broadcasting that I've enforced upon you. It's not like I live to torment you, but you do agree to go along with these things, even if begrudgingly. So,
I have to.
well, even if your eyes are saying no, like you still turn up each week. So I'm like, fuck it, let's see what else I can make Bridgman do.
Yeah. I gotta learn on saying no. There are things, and anyone who knows me are like, "What? You're always laying down the law and saying your rules and stuff." But yeah, no. In this instance, it's been terrifying, but it has been full of personal growth. And thank you very much. And now we actually have a show that, remember, because we were like, "Oh, we'll just turn up and chat; it'll be fine." And then it wasn't long ago that we went, actually, maybe we should have a format. Actually, know what we're talking about beforehand, maybe.
We've got pens and papers. We could write stuff down.
We are comedians. Maybe we could say some jokes. But we have got we have had some amazing guests. So I want to say thank you to all the guests that come on. Steve Spears, Sean Harries, last week's Barry Castagnola.
I've got to say, Lou Conrati has always had me in absolute stitches. If there is any person, if we went, let's do a 3-hour sync, like, oi, Luke.
Right, a 3-hour sync would be like a Mark Watson's 24 hours is a kitchen sink 3 hours. Yeah, but Luke was amazing, so nice, and so generous, because he's been on Radio Devon and singing our praises. That's so lovely. And we've had guests in from American people, had to come in at like the middle of the day or at midnight or whatever, and still come up.
Yes, Spider Jones was at work. He managed to get a conference room just for himself. I'd love to have been there when he went to his boss and went, I'm going to need a conference room for an hour because I'm doing an international interview.
2 British girls. No one knows, but we're going to Twitch there. See what I mean? Hi. Hello, darling. You're not late. You are 1 week early. We could talk all day about how crazy and this last year has been, but I think it's time for us to do our first feature, which is Opinion Place. If only there was a place for the internet.
I was about to say, you do need to do the bit.
But luckily now we have. Are you ready with that button? Are you ready for Opinion Place?
Opinion Place. Opinion Place. Say what you want, right to my face.
Opinion. Needs a bomb. Opinion Place. We're allowed to say bombs. In public. If you've gone off, that's why. Lucy, do you want to go first? Do you have an opinion with which to share with everyone?
Well, I know a lot of people have got problems in their life, and I've certainly got a big bag of them. But I do seem to keep coming up with very rural rants. So moving on from the egg pricing on honesty boxes, it still chuckles me.
Talking about personal growth. Well done.
I need a new pair of Wellington boots. First rant, Hunter's Wellingtons changed the material about 10 years ago. A pair of wellies would last you 20 years. Mine lasted 8, and now there's more holes than welly. So I went into this place, and a decent pair of Wellingtons can cost you anywhere from about 80 to 150. And you kind of want to look in there, and it is a case of you've got to ask how much you can't afford it, and you want to see how much it is to see how much you've got to save without getting, and you want to do this without any judgy, snippy, tweed-wearing shop assistant coming at you. An array of beautiful Wellington boots was in front of me, and not one of them had a price.
What?
Why would you put anything on display in your shop other than an art gallery and not, what is it, price on application? It's a pair of bloody gumboots.
Lucy, you can get them from B&Q for a tenner.
They cut your legs, love. They'll cut your legs round here. Since lockdown, I basically have work boots and Wellington boots. Right. And the idea of having to wear shoes is quite like, oh.
Get a pair of Crocs.
Well, I am. If I did, I'd never get back out of them. That's the thing. This is why the whole of lockdown I've stayed away from jogging bottoms, because genuinely, I would be Juicy Couture. I would be Britney for the rest of my life.
Right. Yes. Oh God.
These are my smart joggers. these are my cash joggers.
Wayne Netta.
So yes, it's just I felt really, really small. I know I've got to save up for a decent pair of wellies. It was a long queue. Everyone's socially distancing and everyone's taking everything so bloody long. And I didn't want to queue up into a queue of 6 just to ask, how much are these Wellingtons? Yes, I'm very sure I can't afford them right now. I'm going to walk backwards and pretend I came in for something else.
Right.
Just put the price on them and stop shaming poor people. There you go. That's my opinion.
I love that your big gripe is to do with Hunter Wellies, and then you're moaning about stop. No, if you know what Hunter Wellies are, you are not a poor person, are you?
They last. My hunters, honestly, hunters used to cost 60 quid and they'll last you 20. So you do the maths.
Okay. Griffith is saying, what is a Wellington? Like, do you know what? I'm trying to open a little bottle of rosé here as a happy anniversary to us. And I've managed to put, yay, happy anniversary, everyone. I've managed to put rosé on my mouse pad. So give me a sec. Right, Jason says, what is a Wellington boot? Can you show one?
It's out of sight, but it's a gum boot. In America, I believe they're called gum boots.
Okay, so they're rubber boots, darling, that you put on your feet when you're gardening, or if you're Lucy, at any opportunity to go outside. My dad's got my welly boots in the bloody shed. They're probably perished now, because I bought them about 15 years ago and bought the house to do gardening, but I've only done gardening since lockdown.
But during lockdown, because nobody was allowed out, like even going to the village shop, I wear wellies. But Wellington boots made me feel like I looked like I had a purpose. Yeah. I wasn't just slinking to the shop for some ciggies. Oh, I've got wellies, so I must be going somewhere or being somewhere.
Okay.
Right. What's your opinion, love?
But it's okay because Jason's got it. Okay,
thanks, Jason.
Okay, my opinion quickly. We've only got 8 minutes to do our old and new comedy review. Yay! Happy anniversary, everyone! Cheers! And everyone, join in with if anyone's got any opinions, we can chat about. So, ching chin. Ching. I had this. God knows what this could taste like. I had this for Christmas. It's been in the fridge ever since. My opinion this week is in honor of our lovely guest, Angela Barnes. Angela, like myself, loves the Popsy dress. Okay, and now we're not being paid by Popsy to advertise their wares, but they do these amazing. If you're a woman of a certain shape, like I am, with boobs, normal shaped woman, Popsy is brilliant because it fits your shape really well, and they have pockets. Yes. Now all the women watch it. Yes, that is
everyone just start.
Women, even women not watching this right now have gone. Does someone say dresses with pockets? Right. We need more. So here's my opinion. We need pockets, more pockets in everything. I feel sorry for men because men only really get pockets in their trousers, and they should get to have pockets in everything. We should all have pockets in everything. Socks, bras, pants. It would be useful. Everyone, like I put my mobile phone down my top sometimes when I'm doing the hoovering, and if I'm listening to a podcast, my phone, which is a bit naughty because apparently that could cause, I don't know. I don't want to say the C word, but it could. And I'm like, it's only 5 minutes. I'll be right. I don't live with it down there. But if I had a blinking pocket, like a lead-lined pocket maybe to save my boobs from radioactive waste, maybe that would work. So that is my opinion. Any fashionistas watching, pocket, we can have pockets in tables. Well, that's drawers really, isn't it? But more pockets everywhere.
Please, when you do from the vault, can you say tables should have pockets? Oh, hang on, those are drawers.
Anyway, cheers everyone.
Cheers everybody.
I never drank. I can't remember the last time I drank. And literally two mouthfuls of this now, I'm going to be hanging. Thank you, Jason Griffith.
Just to translate for the Americanos, hanging means drunk.
Hanging. What other words for drunk is there? Pissed, newt,
Shit-faced, trolleyed.
face, trolleyed, hanging. Wheels.
Shark. We used to call it shark-eyed when you get to the level where they're not there. Well, that's a Barry term, that is. That's a hello to everyone in Barry Island. Do you remember being shark-eyed? Absolutely bollocks, wasted, trolleyed, off your face, sozzled, tipsy. Maybe I know too many synonyms for this
You
one.
know too many. Really drunk much of the
Monday,
time.
Tuesday, trousered. He was absolutely trousered.
I remember ringing Paul Dennis once to go, are we going out later today? And he went, babes, my eyes are like piss holes in the snow.
3 sheets to the wind.
I've never
Half-past.
That was like over 20 years ago. Right.
Should we quickly spin through repertoire?
Yes. So, so next, thank you so much for joining in. And next we have our old and new comedy review.
Sorry. Every fucking time.
So this is our section called Old and New Comedy Review, and that is where one of us, because when me and Lucy met, we've never met IRL in real. It's all real life, as Stuart Goldsmith says, but we've never actually met physically. And when we first did the show, we were like, yeah, we'll just chat, get to know each other on air. And so obviously being comedians, we love comedy, and we are sharing things that we think the other one should watch for whatever reason. Do we like it? Do we hate it? Let's find out. So my suggestion last week was James Acaster Repertoire. And the reason for this is because, apart from the fact he's amazing, I really love his show, Cold Lasagna, Hate Myself, 1999, which you can get on Vimeo. And I just wanted to see, obviously not everyone can get that, but I know Lucy has Netflix and Repertoire's on Netflix. So Lucy, well, and also if anyone has watched this, we've been doing this a year, guys. It's rare that anyone's listening.
I keep wanting to quote the famous anti-Semitic Stormzy and go, fix up, look sharp, but like it's not Derek Gere anymore.
So Lucy, look at that.
Right.
Lucy, what did you think of Repertoire?
I'd seen it, but I'd seen it quite recent, like when it first came out. So there was quite a long distance between seeing it again. And I got to be honest, I had filed them all away into the memory vaults. There was very little that I recognised, which is I actually enjoyed getting to see it again for a second time. I thought he was absurdly wonderful. Like, you know how Ali Hancock does the characters and goes off in a journey, the repeating story about being an undercover cop is so fucking insane, and it works so well. And I know that you're always like, if a character's called Lucy or a character's called Sarah, you pay more attention, right? But the bit about podcasting had me in stitches because of the podcast now.
Yeah.
It was delightful. And I probably, because he talks so quickly and there are so many tangents and sidebars, I think I could watch it again quite soon and not be like, I've heard this. I think it's a repeater. I think it's a good repeater.
Yeah, I think it's got so much stuff in it that if you like, I watched it years ago when it first came out, and I watched it again recently, and it was like, oh my god, there was so much that I didn't remember. And what I love about it is he like, I saw him like 10 years ago, which would have been, well, more like 11 years ago, when he would have been starting out, and he was that good then. He's just phenomenal. He's such a phenomenal talent, you know, the writing, performing. And I know it's a special, so of course they're going to edit out any of the, you know, bits that have gone wrong or whatever. But with James Acaster, nothing goes wrong. He's just like he's got ginger hair, so he's quite white. and there's no flush marks or anything. You know, there's just no, like me, you can see me now. I get slightly nervous. I don't know. I go a lot. None of that. He's absolutely pristine in his delivery. And it's just so funny. You know, he just takes you on such an unexpected journey. Plus callbacks. Hello. He's just
king of callbacks.
Yes. Just such, you know, when you know, being a bit of a comedy geek like we are, it's just like, oh my God, the actual art, or is it a craft? That you know, that's a local comedian would say, Costas Lucaris would say. But it's he's just an absolute class A act. Just amazing. So if you haven't seen it already, you know, I fully recommend get it on Netflix, or, you know, treat yourself. It's 10 quid on Vimeo for his latest special. It's well worth it. You get 3 hours worth of original material. And on South Wales Comedy Forum last night, Chris Chopper was asking, you know, is that 40 minutes? Is it new stuff? It's like, yes, it's new. Just bloody buy it, watch it, treat yourself. Treat yourself, as they say. Awesome. So thank you very much. So it's my choice last time, your choice this time. What are we going to review for next week?
It keeps popping up on my recommended next thingy-majiggy on Netflix, and I'm my own person, so I said yes. And from the little clip that I've seen, and I've now seen that little clip about 5 or 6 times, I'm not annoyed with it. And I do get quite annoyed with the Netflix. Oh, they pick out the wackiest bit. Oh, wacka. You should watch this person. And I don't know why, but they choose really shit advert bits. So we are going for young British comedian Netflix special, Mo Gilligan, Momentum. And that's Netflix. So yes, I'm very excited. I think because I've chosen for the last couple of nights, I've gone really old. I've gone like 1976 and 19. You know, I mean, for God's sake, my last suggestion was the Fall and Rise of Reggie Perrin. So I couldn't go further away and go Mo Gilligan, Momentum.
Congratulations! I think that's your first modern one that you suggested in a year. I appreciate it.
You liked it when I chose Lily Savage. You liked it when I chose Victoria Wood. Thank you.
Old, my darling. So yeah, I'm really modern with my 30-year-old recommendation. Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to this one. I haven't seen it before, so thank you very much. A couple of people have said a few things about James. Ray has said he totally makes hypothetical the show it is. He was superb on Taskmaster. My absolute favourite was the British Bake Off, Celebrity Bake Off that he was on. It's still on Channel 4. If you haven't seen it, watch it. He makes it for me. Absolutely brilliant. And a lot of his new show, he mentions it in his new show. And Paul Dennis says he's quitting stand-up apparently. Paul, yes, he has said that, but I don't think he has said that. I think he said that he quite happy. He has said in an interview to be happy if, you know, he never did it again. But haven't we all of us have said that, haven't we?
You've said that fucking 8 times in this series.
I say that at least 10 times a year. I just don't.
How she answers the phone.
Yeah. Hello, I'm not doing stand-up anymore. That bullshit. Sarah's word. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Oh my God, Lucy, we have our guest in the dining room. I have noticed. Yes. So, right, what have we got? What nibbles have we got in the dining room for Angela?
Well, it's an anniversary - birthday party, so I've gone for everything. I've gone for your party rings.
Ooh,
I've gone for your Kipling fancies. I've gone for a slightly stale Victoria sponge.
Because it's been out all day.
It's been out all day, yeah. Sandwiches. Do feel free to take the cling film off, Angela.
Take the cling film off now, yes, please.
Please. And also, if you are feeling that way inclined, I got some cheeky jelly and ice cream just in the back corner in the freezer.
Oh, is it vegan? Is it gelatin free?
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'll trust you. I'll trust you on that. Yeah. Everybody, welcome. And are you going to do the video for our wonderful guest, the fantastic Angela Bond?
Special guest time, special guest time, special guest time.
Hello.
Yay!
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Our absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, I'm just so excited to talk to people that aren't my fellow or my dog. It's brilliant. I love it.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad it's us. How are you doing? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm all right. You know, I mean, I was sort of born to stay at home for a year and a half, so I'm doing all right. Really, it's I'm sort of one of those people who's like, do we really have to open everything up again? Do I
Me
have
too.
to hug people on Monday? I don't really want to. No, I'm doing really well, and I've been listening to the show. It's great. I just want to show you something because you were talking about wellies, right? And right next to me here, I've got my wedding wellies. These are my bridal wellies. So I'm getting married in September, and our reception is in a field. So I thought I'd better get some wellies that are in my wedding colours. So there we go.
Ooh.
There we go.
We get to
So,
see a
Jason,
wedding.
that's what a wellie looks like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember where is he? I can't remember his name. It's not awful.
Jason
That's not
Griffith.
personal, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not good with
Yeah.
names, but
Yeah.
so that's what a welly is, guys. Okay.
That's what a wellie is.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for coming on. It's lovely to see you. Can I just say your hair looks lush?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I've done my roots this week, so you can't see. I mean, I had white hair to about there until Sunday. So, you know, I mean, obviously it's my natural hair colour. What am I saying?
Yeah. Do you know what? So many people went grey. Just went, fuck it. I'm never doing it again.
I really thought about it. And then I thought, nobody will know who you are if you come out suddenly with, who's this bird? Where's Angela gone?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd better stick with what I know.
Yeah. My mum, who is 7, don't tell her I've told everyone her age, everyone. She's 77, she's going to be 78 this year. And pre-lockdown, we were like, Mum, maybe let your grey grow out instead of dyeing that really harsh, like terrible, like blacky burgundy from, you can see it from Space Colour, that is so harsh on you. Maybe let the grey grow out. And she was like, over literally my dead body. And then COVID happened, and now she's not come back, and it looks great. She looks amazing. So
Grey hair looks lovely. It really looks nice, and it's quite fashionable now, isn't it? When I see girls in their 20s like dyeing their hair silver, it's like, just hang on a decade, love, and you won't have to do that. Like don't wish it away. But
yeah, girls that are like 18, 19, like, I want to be silver. No,
your time will come.
Yeah.
I think when Kelly Osbourne did it, like the whole world stopped.
Yeah.
And she was like, just sod off, it's my hair.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it was when Philip Schofield went grey. I was like, it's all right. It's fine. If it's good enough for Phil Schofield.
And he is a very smart man. He's all about his looks, really, isn't he? Old Phil. Yeah. Oh, cool. So, congratulations on the wed. Is it all under control?
I mean, we're hoping. That's because of COVID, not because I'm not sure if he's going to leave me or not. I think we're all right on that score. I mean, he proposed to me in week 1 of the first lockdown, which was brave. I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, first weekend in September, the wedding's due to happen. So it looks hopeful that we can have a proper normal wedding. So we'll see. But
are you looking at all the figures and stuff? Because I've kind of forgotten about I don't know if it's because it's going to go away, so I've decided that it's done now.
Yeah.
I've kind of not bothered with looking at the figures. Are you like frantically look at the figures all the time?
Well, I just think that because things look like they're going all right, but the last year and a half, I mean, who knew in March 2020 that we'd still be in this situation a year and a bit later? So I'm like, well, there's no point in trying to predict it. Either it'll happen or it won't. So we're just planning as if it does and see what happens. The thing is, we've both had our vaccine. That's not a thing. Our vaccine. So we feel a bit invincible. to be fair, I mean, we're both in our mid-40s, so there's not going to be many people at our wedding under 40. So we'll all be vaccinated. We can all lick each other. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
But I was shocked about that, Angela. You don't look a day over 29.
Oh, Sarah, I knew I loved you and missed you. When people say to me, people do think I look young sometimes, and they say it to me, and I say, I've got a secret to looking young, and I will share it with you. And the secret is that I wake up every morning and I don't have any children.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That is the secret to looking young, my friends.
Absolutely. Do you know, I went out with my friend only this morning for a coffee. We were both sitting there going, isn't life great?
Especially this last year. Haven't you felt great about your life choices in this last year with all the homeschooling? I see my friends just go, this isn't what I signed up for. And you go, well, sorry, but I'm getting up at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And I'm drinking till 4 a.m.
Exactly.
What have you been doing in lockdown?
Right, you know, I've been one of the lucky ones. I mean, I was sort of flippant about it earlier, saying I was built for it, but I've been lucky in that my other half has worked full time, so you know, we're not worrying where the next meal's coming from or anything. So we've been really lucky with that, and I've had enough work. You know, I've had bits of radio and telly and stuff to keep me going. So yeah, I can't complain. I've definitely been one of the lucky ones. And yeah, you know, I've had enough now. I think we've all had enough.
Oh yeah.
Now, and I sort of, you know, I miss it. It's just the simple. It's just the things like going to see my mum, or just, you know, having a coffee with someone, and you know, we've just booked to see some friends. So I grew up in Maidstone in Kent. And the friends' bands like playing in a beer garden in a pub in Maidstone on Sunday. I never thought I'd be excited about seeing a friend's shit band in a beer garden, but now it's like Christmas. I'm like, oh my god, we're going to a beer garden, and there'll be beer and there'll be music and it'll be great. I'm so excited.
I was gonna say, I absolutely adored your news quiz during the lockdown with your big duvet den. It was beautiful.
It was so mad. It was like the world had played this huge trick on me, because I grew up listening to the news quiz and I love it, you know, and it's my favourite thing that I do. And when they said, you know, we want you to host a series of it in 2020, I was like, this is unbelievable, like dream come true job. I can't believe it. And then God was like, yeah, you can have your dream job, but you'll be doing it from your living room in your pajamas. Sorry. You know, and without an audience. Good luck. So, but do you know what? It was really fun, and it was really, in a way, you sort of go, well, that series of news quiz will go down in history. You know, I'm the only person ever to present it without an audience. I'm the only first person to present it online, you know. So you just think, well, actually, if I'd just done it in radio theatre like all the others, it might have just got forgotten, that series. But nobody will forget. For good or bad, nobody will forget it.
It's doubtful. Like Toxvig, Kumar. I can't remember the next one.
Yeah,
I lost it.
What's it like? Because I remember you, like, when you were making it just when I just started out. It was about, I started out about 11 years ago ish, and you know, and I remember seeing you, you know, from like club sets and up, and then it's like when you see someone like, oh my god, they're on TV, brilliant. It's like, oh my god, they do these amazing things on radio. I'm someone who absolutely dies in a puddle just getting an open spot at the Glee. What's it like to get these lovely, fantastic jobs that you like, oh my god, remember growing up knowing these other people getting it, and now it's you?
It's mad. I mean, like I just said, I can't believe my luck half the time. And I know it's, you know, part of it is hard work. I did my time slogging around the country doing open spots and, you know, all the rest of it. But there is an element of luck involved. And you do sort of think, you know, there's, for every person you see on telly, there's 100 other people that could equally be in their spot, you know. So while it's great and it's really exciting, it's also nerve-wracking, because you're like, you know, I have to hold this place now. I have to, you know, it's no good. You can't just turn up once, do all right, and they'll keep booking you forever. You've got to sort of maintain a sort of a level then. So it's quite nerve-wracking, especially when you're sort of a ball of anxiety like I am. But yeah, I mean, I've been just, I did my first open spot, I was like 33 or something, so I was a bit older when I started than most people are. And I think it sort of shows people you can change your career like that. You can,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to. It was one friend said to me, and it's such a cheesy, corny thing he said to me, but it totally turned everything around for me, was when I was sort of started doing open spots and things, and you know, I really wanted to pursue stand-up, but I knew, you know, I had quite a good job, and I was like, I don't know what to do. But at the time, I was lucky. I was single. I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have kids. And my friend said, you've got nothing to lose, really. If you know, you can live off beans for a year. No one else is going to suffer. You're not responsible for anyone else. And the line that he just said, I don't know anyone who's regretted following their dream. He said, I know loads of people who've regretted not doing it. And what's the worst that can happen? You know, you have a go, doesn't work out. Oh, well, go back to the day. You know, it's, and that really sort of gave me the push that I needed to go, actually, yeah, just go for it, because you're not getting any younger. And yeah, I lost my dad died quite young, so he was 60 when he died, and it was that really that also gave me the push of just going, oh, do you know what, life can just go. So yeah. So do it.
Yeah, it is short, isn't it? My friend's mum sadly passed away at the beginning of COVID, and it was like she was in her early 70s, and to me, I'm like, well, that's no age these days. You know, every generation, it seems like I'm aiming for about 89, 90.
That'll do me. I mean, the women in my family seem to go on forever, so I'm just hoping the genes have come down, you know. That's what I'm hoping for. The men all drop dead at 60 and the women go on to their 90s, so yeah, as long as I don't get run over by a bus, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Annie, I wanted to ask you a technical question, because like Mock the Week, and now you were like one of the early doors. Like we are Lucy are feminists, obviously. What was that like being on Mock the Week? Did it feel sexist to you, or was it like, what was it like?
Yeah, it's changed, and I think it's a very different place now to where it was when I started, and it was even more different then than it was when it started. So when I first started doing Mock the Week, it was always just one woman. And the problem with that, well, I mean, the obvious problem with that is that it's one woman. And I think it just took people in television a while to realise that female's not a genre of comedy, you know, in the way that one-liner comic is, or deadpan comic is, or, you know, whatever other sort of comic, that women are also different and they're not a genre. And so you'd get in the situation where people who make television programmes would say, well, we don't want too much of the same thing. But they'd put, you know, Milton Jones and Gary Delaney on the same show. It's like, well, they're much more similar to each other.
One-liners. You can have two one-liners.
Exactly.
You couldn't have two women.
Whereas, like, me and Sarah Pascoe are completely different styles. Completely different. You know, no one's ever going to get us mixed up. Or, you know, our styles, where we come from, or, you know, all of those things. And I think it just took television a while to realise we're not a genre. We just happen to be packing different genitals, you know. And and it's getting better. There's still a long way to go. I mean, it's still the situation. You know, I've never done a panel show on TV where there's been more women than men. Never. I've never done a panel show on TV, I don't think, where there's been an equal number. So we've still got a long way to go, because the bottom line is, it just doesn't represent the audience, because we're a country of 51% women, so it's just stupid.
We can't make QI do all of the equality work for every other show.
Exactly. You've got to spread out the love, guys. But it's a slow process, and people realise, and I think what people are realising as well is that, you know, because what really makes me laugh is that there was sort of this idea, A, that women all talked about the same thing, which is bollocks, and B, that men wouldn't be able to find it funny if they didn't relate to it. And what nobody pointed out is that forever we've been finding men funny, and we've managed to do that without having dicks, right? Like, I can watch Billy Connolly or James Acaster or whoever and find them funny without necessarily relating to their lives. And there's no reason why men can't do that with us. You know, it's like, oh, women just talk about women's stuff. So that's our experience. Of course we talk about our lives, right? In the same way, Sean Walsh used to have a lovely line about when people complained to him about women always talking about their periods. And he said, for a start, they don't. And secondly, if men bled out of their dicks for 5 days a month, do you think we wouldn't hear about it? Which is,
That is
excuse the
so
language,
true.
guys, but it's true, right? You talk about your experience, and Christ, if I have to hear another male comic do material about his bloody prostate exam, it's just,
Yeah.
we all talk about our own experience, and if you can't, you don't have to relate to something to find it funny. I mean, that's insane. Do you want everyone on television has to be you? It's such a weird way of looking at this. It's such a false argument to go, well, I can't relate to funny women. It's like, well, I feel sorry for you, and none of the women in your life fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Do you
a
know,
show
I
is that
knew
bringing?
once upon a time, years ago, and this guy did say, he was like, it's that thing of, you're quite funny, but I generally don't find, that thing, I generally don't find. And I was like, right, so you've never, he was literally like, I don't think women are funny. I'm like, okay, so a woman has never made you laugh. Your mum, your auntie, kids. Are you kidding me? It's just such a rubbish. It can't be an argument anymore. It's so stupid.
It's one of those things that seems to just get into the collective subconscious without us knowing it, without any evidence. Because every time, and it's happened so often, and often a woman will say, I don't usually find women funny, but I enjoyed what I just saw you do. And so I say to them, well, what female comics have you seen? And they can never name one. They can never name one because they just haven't watched any. But they've bought into this thing that the whole world has told them forever, that women aren't funny. So that's what they've brought to the show, And when you've then proved them wrong, they say, I didn't think women were funny, but you've proved me wrong. You go, well, you didn't actually think that. You just were told to think that. Actually, if you really think about it, the women that you have seen probably have made you laugh.
Do you think they should have Michelle Wolf's otter sexual assault sketch just on loop? It's got nothing to do with the menopause, nothing to do with periods. There's no dating apps, there's no kid material. It is otter on otter rape.
It's such a silly thing to level it. Look, the bottom line is, did they laugh? If they laughed, fine, you've done it. It just makes no sense. And I do think that attitude is good. And again, it's that thing of, because the argument, when I was starting out, the argument was always, we can only ever have one woman on a bill because the audiences don't like it. The audiences don't like it if there's more than one woman they get. And you go, well, that's because they never get it. They never see it. You don't know if the audiences like it or not. You haven't given them a chance to. And it is true that when I started as a woman, you come out on stage in a comedy club, particularly in a comedy club where, people have just bought a ticket for the comedy club. They don't know who the acts are going to be. And you walk out and they go, ooh. You see it. You see a whole room go, ooh. But that's changing because now people are seeing female comics all the time. People are seeing Catherine Ryan and Sarah Pascoe and Sarah Millican and everyone being really funny on their tellies all the time. So now it's not, they haven't just assumed that women can't do it now. And it is different. And it's very rare now in a comedy club that I'm the only woman on the bill now. And it's changing. It's slow. It's not perfect. There's still a big gap, but it's changing.
I know I try to shoehorn this into every conversation, but I have gone heavy on the online comedy scene during lockdown. I am huge in South Bend, Indiana. Big up, Jason. And with the open mics on online comedy, you're going to get 50 to 60% women on the bill because they haven't got to travel. They haven't got to get childcare. They they haven't got to look after the husband and then go and do their hobby. That's what I'm going to miss.
I think this is a really leveling thing, and I hope it stays to some degree. I really hope that not just that live gigs are also live streamed, which I think they absolutely should be, because there's so many people that don't go to comedy clubs because they can't, be it physical disability, be it anxiety, be it childcare, whatever. That it's great that there are people now getting to watch live comedy who've never seen it before, which is brilliant. But also I hope that the actual Zoom gigs we do from our living rooms or whatever, I just think it's a different energy. It's and it's accessible to everybody. And there's something I found, I was really not sure about them at first. And the first few you do, you're a bit like, this is mad. I'm sat in my living room talking to a laptop. And there's that moment, isn't there? We go, thank you very much, good night, and leave the Zoom room. And then you just go, what just happened? It's sort of, It's mad, but we've all got used to it now. And I think there's something really lovely for somebody who lives on their own, say, or who doesn't get out much or can't get out much or lives somewhere very remote or rural, whatever, these people that they see on the telly are suddenly in their house and interacting with them. I think that's an amazing thing. And, you know, to sort of feel that connection with people that you don't even get at a live show. You know, when it's just an audience there and you might talk to the front row or whatever. But I love it with Mock the Week. You know, we have a Zoom audience on Mock the Week now, and I know Dara certainly prefers it. I prefer it because when you've got the studio audience in Mock the Week, right? Here's the truth about Mock the Week: that show records for 3 hours sometimes. Like, it's a long recording for a 28-minute show. And when you've got a live studio audience in, I think they come in and they don't always know they're going to be sat there for 3 hours, you know. So by the end of the show, the audience like, I've got a babysitter. We missed the last show. I can't even go for a piss. I can't believe I'm still here.
This is Ken Dodd's show.
Yeah, exactly. So by the time you get to the end of the recording, people aren't laughing anymore. They've got no energy left. They're dead, you know. Whereas when they're sat in their own house, they can go to the loo whenever they like. They can make themselves a cup of tea. They can get a glass of wine. They can do whatever. And the other thing is, in a studio, the audience are really far away from you and they're in the dark on Mock the Week. So you can't see them. You can't interact with them at all. They're just the people laughing over there. Whereas when they're on the Zoom, we have big screens in front of us on the set with the Zoom on it. And there's about 600 people on the Zoom call, but there's about 50 who we can see. And we can see their living rooms, and we can see the, you know, they sat on their sofa or whatever, so we can interact with them. We can take the piss out their curtains. We can, you know, and it just makes it such a different experience. And I know that it's become really, like, people are clamouring for those Zoom spaces for live recordings for TV shows, because it's just a different way of getting to see a TV show and to have a bit of interaction with the people. I just think it's amazing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Kiri did some crowd work for the COVID arms, and there was a couple, and they'd changed all the clocks in the house earlier, so the kids didn't realise their bedtime.
I love it.
They were just
Amazing.
like, get in bed, it's the COVID arms, we're having some Zoom.
Yeah.
We did on the Mock the Week recording we did on Tuesday, which is on tonight. There was a guy on the Zoom who had the "Would I Lie to You" set as his background. We were like, all right, mate. It was brilliant. It's great. I think we had one guy who had it was like he obviously had a video or something running behind him, and we were just doing the show, and I looked up and there was just a squirrel running across the screen. Like, sorry, am I having a stroke? Did everyone else see it? It's just little things like that you know, we don't usually get to do. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's keep Zoom gigs.
Yes. Well, we are definitely keeping going, aren't we, Lucy? And oh yeah, it's really good fun. I love seeing all the back, because when you're in an audience of this kind of thing as well, you know, a comedy club gig, because I don't know if you know Robin Morgan and SLC, they put on their show, and I just wanted to, you know, sit back and do some writing and stuff. So I thought I'll go as audience. I love being in an audience, and you still feel a sense of connection, even though you're in your living room and everyone. You still feel that, so it does work.
Yeah, I think we're very good. I think humans are very good at suspending disbelief for whatever, to enjoy something. And I think, you know, at first it was a bit weird. You're like, I'm in my living room and I've got earphones on and I can see. But it didn't take long for audiences to really just get in it and just enjoy it and, you know, laugh out loud and lose their inhibitions a bit. And, you know, and I've done corporates online, which, you know, if you've ever done a corporate gig, I mean, they could be the most soulless, terrifying, awful, that, you know, you're coming on when they just want to chat and it's just horrific, but well paid. But to do them online is just brilliant, you know, because they can't all talk to each other at the bar while you're on stage. They can't. And it's great. They're all on their best behaviour because they know the boss is also in the Zoom room, you know, so they're just, it's brilliant. I love it. Oh,
fantastic. Yeah. I've also got a technical question. Topical jokes. So writing topical jokes. Oh, yeah. Have you got any advice?
Right. Okay. Well, yes.
So,
my main bit of advice is, like, writing topical jokes now is harder than it has ever been because of Twitter and other social media. Because when you see a news story now, the first joke that you come to in your head, a million people have also come to it, and they've put it on Twitter, so everyone's seen it. You know, so immediately you've got to discount the first few thoughts you have about a subject. You know, so I always say just think past the obvious. You've got to, write the obvious jokes, write them. Check them on Twitter just in case no one's thought of it, but they usually have. And if they haven't, just keep writing past it till you get sort of deeper into the story. If you're writing for, it depends what you're writing for. And like writing jokes for News Quiz is different to writing jokes for Mock the Week. Like I always say, Mock the Week is basically News Quiz for people who don't watch the news. Whereas News Quiz on Radio 4, they know who the Shadow Undersecretary for XYZ is. They know that stuff. You don't need to hand it to them, So you've got to have your audience in mind as well. Like, how much information do you need to give them? Where to sort of pitch it. And also I always say, because obviously if you want to be a topical joke writer, Newsjack is your best place to start on Radio 4 Extra. Open access, you can send your stuff in. I used to host it. And so I've got a few inside tips from there. One is look at the pages that aren't the main news stories, right? Go to the sports pages, because Newsjack is written by a load of nerds, right? Myself included. I'm a nerd, and nerds know fuck all about sport. So they get sent hardly any jokes on the sports stories. So go and have a look in the papers at the sports stories, write jokes about that. Go deep in the sort of business and tech pages, all that, because I think what people do, they look at the main headlines and they go, right, these are the main stories, I'll write jokes on these. But of course, that's what everyone's done. So they'll have 700 jokes about whatever the main story is that week. But they, if there's some experiment has been done in some lab somewhere in Brazil that's got some interesting results about something, they won't have anything on that. So give them something on that, and you'll be the only person who's covered that story. So just look for the things that you can do something with. It doesn't have to be the big stories. And also with shows like Newsjack, generally the in-house writers will cover the big stories because they have to be covered. They have to make sure they've got stuff on it. So yeah, go deep is my
awesome. Oh, brilliant! Thank you very much. I will.
You're welcome.
Sarah,
those out for the next
cut this out of the edit. We're not sharing that. No fucking way.
Oh, thank you. Lucy, I think we have, right, every week we have a lovely regular viewer, watcher, listener, huge, I keep thinking Jackman, it's not huge anus. Huge anus.
Oh, that old chestnut.
We have a question for you from him. So
And
Lucy,
just to prep you, because some of our male guests have been very disturbed by the fact that they say things on the internet and then they stay on the internet and then they forget that they were on the internet and then they get scared. So
I'm intrigued now by what's going to happen, and I'm on my best.
I just want you to know we are not screwing you over. This is a genuine.
But that's what you'd say if you were screwing me over, Sarah. That's exactly what you'd say. This is a trap.
It's a trap. Hi, Angela. Whilst at the age of 19 and working in a canteen based at a police station, which do you remember most? Being bundled into a lift or the price of a cup of tea and a bacon sarnie? Kisses, Hugh.
That's made me go, was Hugh there? I did work in a police station, yeah. I did get. I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself in
I'm hearing as well. It's been fine all the way
weird,
through.
isn't it? Why is that suddenly doing that? Oh,
It's not now.
Oh, there we go. That stopped. Technical
There we
issues,
go.
guys. Oh, actually, I've changed my mind. This is stupid. This online gigs. Let's get back to a live venue. No. So yeah, so in my year out from university, I worked in the canteen at Maidstone Police Station, and I on my last day, two things happened. One is I'm scared of lifts, right? I don't like lifts at all, and I once abseiled down a building for charity, but I refused to go up in the lift, and they were like, "You're all right climbing down the outside of it, but you won't go up in it." So I walked up all the stairs up to the top of this building. But anyway, the lift in the police station, in Maidstone Police Station, this is back in the mid-90s, was like this rickety old lift. So I absolutely refused to get in it. And one of my duties from the canteen was every day I had a little trolley with like snacks on that I would go around the police station selling the snacks, right, from the trolley. And to get it up to the next floor, I'd put the trolley in the lift and I'd send it up and then I'd go up the stairs. And obviously the police had spotted that I was doing this and that I wasn't getting in the lift with the trolley. So they twigged that I obviously didn't like the lift. So on my last day, one of them I was waiting for the trolley to go in the lift. And so the lift doors open, they pushed the trolley in, pushed me into the lift with the trolley, and they had one of them stationed at each floor. So every time the doors open, they just press the button, and I just couldn't get out of the lift, and they were just sending me, which is actually really cruel. And
Is this an anecdote or is this a repressed memory?
I think this is like this is therapy now. That's what you. And the other then they on the same day there was one room which was what was then called, I don't know if it's still called that, they were called the TAC team, who were the tactical team, who the ones in jumpsuits who go and do all the drugs raids and things, and they were all sort of fit, hot young men, and I was 19, and so civilians weren't allowed in that office, right? It was just a civilian note. So I would always get my little trolley and I'd walk past, I'd knock on the door and go, does anyone want anything? And they'd come out and get what they wanted from the trolley. And on my last day, they bundled me. The TAC team just obviously weren't busy that day. No drugs raids in Kent that day, apparently. And they just bundled me into the office that civilians aren't allowed in and handcuffed me to 2 tables, right? Put like a police hat on my head. Again, it was a very different time, midnight. and just took loads of Polaroids of me, like handcuffed with like different hats on and things. But then the chief superintendent walked past and they just all went shit and they all just legged it and just left me handcuffed to 2 tables in a room that civilians aren't allowed in. And they all just fucked off because they knew they were in trouble. And the chief super like walked in. I couldn't do it. I was just like, hi. and he just came up to me and he just went, I do wish you'd leave my boys alone. I walked off.
Oh.
So embarrassing. But I've still got somewhere. Oh God, I wonder where it is. It's probably, I have to find it and tweet. But I've still got the Polaroid of me handcuffed to 2 tables with these policemen all around me, like going, yeah. God bless them.
Is that a memento or is that evidence?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I come to think a claim there.
I've always told this story as a jolly jape, but I think it's kidnap, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've been affected by anything that Angela has said, please do ring the helpline. The number will be at the end of the show. Thank you.
While you're at it. Can I ask how Tina is? Let's get with
She's sitting here. Do you want me to grab her?
Yes,
I'll get her to say hello. Hang on. Tina.
Are we stereotypical, are we?
Yes. So Tina for the hi Tina.
Ooh.
Hello, gorgeous.
The dog doesn't need the headphones.
No. She hasn't quite
She's
got the
method.
hang of screen. She doesn't quite know where to look. Look, Tina, who's that? Who's that up
Hello,
there?
Tina.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful girl.
So just woke me up for this shit.
Oh, sweet.
Ooh, who's that?
Hello,
Very
gorgeous.
confused.
He's so cute. And all of a sudden, we've forgotten everything. Hello,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I
I know.
didn't say she's cute, but you can't smell her from here. I bloody can. You need a bath, missus, don't you? Or you off? You had
Oh, I
enough?
like a
Go on then,
crunchy
back to your trailer.
sticky dog. I love it. Just before they're like, yeah,
I
they
love a
need to
crunchy
go.
dog, me.
No, yeah, I quite like it when they ming a bit. It sort of smells
Me too.
doggy.
Do you sniff her breath? I know it sounds weird. My friend's
think-
got a dog.
My dog is I live in Brighton and my dog's vegetarian. Let me explain. We didn't make her vegetarian. She's allergic to meat.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she's got she's allergic to meat protein, so she can eat fish. So her breath is fishy. It's not pleasant. It's not nice. Yeah, both ends. It comes out pretty fishy. Poor love, aren't you?
Oh,
So
yeah.
she's-
And my dad. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying, I mean, I live in Brighton and have a vegetarian cockapoo. I mean, for Christ's sake.
Of course you do. You can't
Of
have
course I
a standard cockapoo. Not in Brighton. No, my day job, I'm a coach for people with neurodiverse conditions, which I like to crowbar in because, make sure I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And I love it when they have animals and they're like, get down, Badger. And I'm like, ooh, who's Badger? Let me show me. It's like 10 minutes looking at the cat. It's not a Zoom thing unless you see a cat's arse, is it?
But the cats are really sort of attracted to laptops, aren't they? The amount of Zoom conversations I've had with cats' arseholes is like the dogs don't even. My mum, when my mum does a Zoom with us, my mum only really Zooms to see the dog. She couldn't give a shit about us. It's all about the dog that she misses. So show me Tina, and she'll be going, hello, Tina. And Tina she doesn't know to look at the screen. She just cannot work it out. It's been a year and a half. She hasn't worked out that my mum's face is on the screen. But she hears my mum's voice, so she thinks she's coming in. So she just goes and sits by the door. She's like, oh, I can hear her. Where is she? And it's really like,
oh, that's so cute.
In the laptop, Tina. She's just stupid, really, aren't you, mate?
One of my clients has got a dog, and he can't say the W word because the dog.
Yeah, no.
So he has to say, WALK.
Yeah, absolutely. But what we say, do you want to go for a W to each, or do you want to take the dog for a W? And then we realise that sounds really dodgy.
Yeah.
Do you want to W the dog? Shall I W the dog?
The dog's a vegan, but he's not happy at home.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm conscious. I could talk to you all day. I'm conscious of time, but Lucy looked like she was going to say something.
I was going to say something. My friend Andy got very drunk the other night and bought us 2 VIP tickets to Salisbury Comedy Festival.
Ooh.
I may have been encouraging him. He was like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, you should. You should. Who's in charge of you? You be the man. I did contact them a number of times asking how to get on the lineup, but I got no answer. So I'll just be there waving at you. But
come and say hi.
I will now. But just to let everybody know, there are tickets still available for Salisbury Comedy Festival, and I, if it's outside and it's all safe, there are cooling off periods. Please support live comedy.
Yeah, it's coming back. I did one of Mark Watson's driving gigs last Friday, and they're odds, the driving gigs. At first, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know, and then the money was good, so I said, all right. And I was quite nervous, but they were so much fun because everyone's just giddy to be seeing something live. And I did it I was on with Zoe Lyons, and she lives just down the road from me, so we car shared that. And on the way back, we were just giddy. Because we did 2 shows last Friday, and it's like, I'm doing my job again. You sort of forget how good it feels to perform live. So do come and join us live as soon as you can. That'd be great.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you for having me. This is fun. This is really fun. Yay! And I've got a Popsy on.
Have you? Which one you got?
I've got a Popsy on. I can't remember what it's called. It's the is it the Emily? The cameras. There we are.
Oh, it's nice.
Camera print. Yeah, there we go.
And do you ladies?
One of my Popsies. I didn't in the end, but I bloody love a Popsy dress.
Do you know why ladies aren't allowed pockets?
Go on.
Because when they had all the suffragette leaflets going out, women used to conceal them in their pockets, and therefore it was the pockets' fault that these fancy women got these silly little minds.
Yeah.
Down
with the pockets. Same with bicycles. I do a history. Oh, actually, it's a good time to plug my history podcast.
Yes, please do.
I do a history podcast with John O'Farrell, who's a brilliant comedy writer. And it's a very silly history podcast. So it's sort of, you learn a bit, but you laugh as well. And we did an episode on women and bicycles, and about how bicycles helped the suffragette movement, and men tried to stop women use it because women couldn't get from A to B alone until the bicycle was invented. And suddenly they have freedom and could spread the word of suffrage. So, and we've actually got our episode that comes out on Monday is about the Antis, which were the women and men that were against suffrage.
Ooh.
So that's coming out on Monday. So do
Women,
join us.
that's really Handmaiden's Tale, isn't it? And women again.
and
it's
the
funny 'cause
witches with the white feathers.
Yeah, well, we learn a lot about the suffragettes and the suffragists and Millicent Fawcett and, you know, and then the Pankhursts. But what we don't sort of learn about is what they were up against. You know, I mean, obviously they were up against men, but the actual movement that they were up against. You know, they were up against the House of Commons full of men, but you actually had this movement of, they were called the Antis, led by Lord Cromer and Lord Curzon, who were, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So have a listen to that on Monday.
Oh, definitely will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm like, why, you know, I always wonder this. It's mostly rich white men. Why have they got to oppress us all the time? What is it? What's wrong with it? Oh, I guess I'm really good with my feminism now, because when I got into feminism, I've always been a feminist, but I kind of got into it more when I went into comedy. I wasn't even aware of my gender before I started comedy. And like I say, it's been 11, 12 years ago. And it was like, ooh, we'll put a woman on first. That's how bad it was locally then. It's a lot better now. But
and I do think it's true, because there's a lot of powerful feminist strong voices in comedy that aren't in all areas of life, you know, and I think it's a place where it did open my eyes as well. I mean, like I say, I've always been a feminist. I was a social worker before, so, you know, I was still pretty lefty and right on, but yeah, it's just the being able to actually express it in a funny way and sort of get across the feminism isn't, you know, being anti-men, and it's about equality and all those things that people don't really, or that they willfully misunderstand.
Because I'm a feminist and I'm anti-men. I'm fucking multitasking.
I'm not, by the way.
Hashtag not all feminists, all right. Hashtag not all feminists.
I'm just glad it's taken me 10 years to be able to express anything to do with feminism, because to begin with, it was like, that was how I just couldn't.
I think also we have a tendency as women, and I know I'm really bad for this, but before we express an opinion, we apologise for it. So we go, I'm really sorry, but I think, you know, and it's taken me a long time to unlearn that, to go, you don't have to apologise for having the opinion you have. You can just have it, because, you know, men don't apologise for the opinions they have ever. But that's, you know, that's centuries of patriarchy. So
any tips on that, Angela? Because I'm constantly...
how to overthrow the patriarchy.
Yes, please. I think we just...
Okay. Shit, I've just knocked me... There we go. Got a bit excited then about overthrowing the patriarchy, and I've knocked everything over.
I'm just not apologising, because it's not even just, oh, I'm sorry. It could be, I'm just doing this, but when I leave it out, I just feel awful. I feel so bad.
Well, it makes you feel rude. I feel rude if I don't say I'm sorry, but, you know, oh, I'm sorry, could you just, you know, when you're asking someone to do something completely reasonable, or when someone's been really unreasonable and you go, look, I don't want to cause a fuss, but, and you're like, no, actually I do want to cause a fuss because you're being unreasonable, but then you get labelled feisty or bossy or all the other things that men don't get labelled when they behave exactly the same way.
I'm terrifying. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, so she's really scary. You know, or spiky. That's where we go, oh, this is a bit spiky. It's like, no, they just stand up for themselves. That's all that means. You know, don't get me wrong, there are men and women that are bossy and not pleasant, but that's not, you know, that's a different thing to just sort of stating your intention. So I think politeness is fine, but don't apologise for something that you don't need to apologise for. So I sort of try and go now, okay, I'm only going to use the sorry word when I'm genuinely sorry, when I've done something wrong. That's,
brilliant.
I'm bad at it, but I'm trying to get better at it.
Awesome. That's why I'm going to be, what would AB do? What would Angela Barnes do?
God, don't use that in other areas of your life. You'll have a terrible time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been a proper joy, and well done. It's so nice to see you again, Sarah. I haven't seen you for years, but it's really nice to meet you, Lucy. And come and say hello.
I'll see you at Salisbury.
Yeah, wicked. And thank you for having me and letting me. Look at me, I've got verbal diarrhea now. It's like, don't make me go. I'm going to go back and watch the rest on the Facebook Live. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, thank you so much, Angela.
No, thanks for having me. A real joy. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Oh, how lovely is that? Angela Barnes.
Thank you for my birthday present.
Happy birthday to you and us and everyone. And it only took me a year. Because remember when we first started, we were like, oh, maybe we could ask people to come on. And I was like, trying to think about who do I know? I know my local people, Simon Emanuel, Ali Hancock, Ignacio Lopez. I was like, well, you kind of know Angela Barnes. You're like, ask her, ask. And it took me a year to go, hi, Angela. And like all year I've been like trying to think, oh, how can I, because I'm a fear of rejection. Not only did Angela say yes, and trust me, I did ask other people that I really thought would say yes, and they did not respond. And they are not at Angela Barnes's level, let me tell you. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and making our first birthday very special. Thank you. Oh, I'm going to die happy now.
I know.
Go off the edge of a cliff. Should we hold metaphorical hands? And go off the edge of a cliff.
Oh.
We're going off a cliff. I never understood that. The end of Thelma and Louise. Why did they have to die? That was a man made the decision there. I think they should have just, in my mind, they didn't die. They just went off and opened a cupcake shop. That's my preferred ending for Thelma.
I know what I would do with Brad Pitt locked in the back of the car.
Ooh. Thank you. Yes, please. Well, back then, maybe not so much now. he's been through the mill a bit. Brad Pitt, if you're watching, we would still have you on. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's have a look at some of the. I know Lucy was doing the old comments throughout. This one I would like to pay a bit of attention to. Roger Bungay, you stabbed Lucy in a lift. What?
See, the thing is, when you're a touring truck driver,
you stab her with your penis, did you?
No, no, because being away for long periods of time, I'm on the Depo-Provera injection, and I need it every 12 weeks. And Roger knows how to do injections, so every 12 weeks, I'd pull him into a disabled toilet or a lift or something, and he'd just give me hormones, and then go back on our way.
I was going to say, what WTF is that? I've known you a year. You've never mentioned this before, woman.
It's the contraceptive injection that stops you having periods. Have you ever had a period whilst living in a truck?
Oh, okay, fair point. Although I would use a moon cap. Now, when I first discovered moon caps many years ago, yes, I've had one glass of wine. I'm going to talk to you about moon caps and periods. I couldn't believe it. I was so impressed with this moon cup. After years of using tampons, which are horrible, moon caps are fantastic. You feel really safe with them because it's plastic. It's thick silicone plastic. There's no leak, no leakage if you do it properly.
If I can't wash my hands, how am I going to rinse out my moon cup?
You can wash your hands. You've got water. Don't you have water? Truckers have restrooms too, Anyway, you crack on with your hormones. But I told everybody about a moon cup to all my friends on Facebook, and then they all came back going, I think we've been done by scammers. We've been marketing people. Okay, is that really you, Sarah? I was like, yes. Get yourself a moon. They were like, no, thank you. Yeah. So that's my little moon cup anecdote. What else did we see that? Right, you can't put much tea in them. What's that about?
Oh, look! Oh my God! Look. Thank you for having me. Can I come back next year, please?
Yeah.
Screenshot the shit out of that, Bridgman.
See what happens when you reach for the stars.
So my birthday present is going to be an eternal visit from Angela Barnes to the kitchen sink. I think I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
In that case, I may not meet her at Salisbury in case I make a show of myself.
I like how you kept that to yourself as well, madam. You should have. I'm within Salisbury distance. I could come to Salisbury.
Yeah, we'll do it. No, it's like to be honest, I forgot because he was waffling on all night. Shall I book it? Shall I book it? And in the end, I was like,
yes. Comedy. Oh my God, I was so excited. Bridget Christie is touring. I know. We've got to get
Bridget. If you're watching this, you didn't reply to my Twitter.
Please come with the show. Please come with the show. Okay.
Oh my God.
Barnsley, could you please tell your lovely friends to come on the show too, and let me know who is open, or at least I will message people and say, please come on the show.
Angela said it was fine to message.
Yeah.
Let's not burn the bridges, eh?
No, you won't. Absolutely not. Right, Ali Hancock says, I mean, after me, it was all downhill, right? Ali, it couldn't be our 1 year anniversary. 1 whole year ago today, we were sat here going, oh, let's talk shit. And Ali went, Pokemon Go, anyone? If it wasn't for Ali Hancock, Lucy O. Orchard would not know about Pokemon Go.
No, I wouldn't have my new best friend Leona either, because I met her through playing Pokemon. So that gave me that, which gave me that.
Oh, you're my best friend.
Angela, will you stop teasing us?
Maybe we won't have a 3-month sabbatical. Maybe we'll
Otherwise, we're going to just gate crash the wedding and both try and claim you as ours.
I can hide behind a hedge. I'm happy to hide behind a hedge. Oh, look, she's getting married. Woo. I love a wedding. Oh, I should have asked all about the wedding dress. Nothing. Do you want to come on next week? We can have a segment. Barnsley's wedding.
But coming up with next, right? Oh my God! And John, I wouldn't know John through. I've met really, really lovely people through Pokemon Go, and that's all down to YouTube buggers. Whilst I've got you distracted for a second, what I would just like to say is we have got coming up next. We've got Pauline Eyre. That's next week. And the week after that, we've only got Ursula Carson coming back after her slight hospitalisation. So she had to cancel. Vic Slayton stood in at the 11th hour. And we've got Ursula Carson, star of the Netflix special and an overqualified loser. And I'm also going to just drop this name drop at the moment because I've got my first fringe. So I will be Brighton Fringe at the Caxton Arms on May the 29th, 30th and 31st. I've got 3 sets and I'll be sharing the stage with Lizzie and Lou, and it's going to be brilliant. Yes, and it's all gearing me up. If I can do 20 minutes at Brighton, it means I'm ready for my 30 minutes in Edinburgh with you.
Absolutely. Oh, I can't wait till this in Edinburgh.
I know.
Reach for the stars.
Oh my God, honestly, right, Angela, if you don't get married, can I have you?
Don't say that. She will get married. And you can't
show in the cards.
You rinsed me. You spent a year rinsing me of everyone I know and all my friends. I'm keeping Angela. You can't. All right. Quickly check. Guys, I don't want this to end.
Right, we're going to have to wrap it up. It's been amazing. Sarah, I know you made a joke about, begrudgingly being forced at gunpoint to do a weekly broadcast with myself. I mean, at one point we were doing 2. I mean, fuck's sake, we did Sunday sync-ups.
Oh my God, remember Sundays? Shit it out.
Yeah. I mean, we did a show on the hottest day of the year. And, oh my God, there we go. Clip it, print it. Angela hasn't put a name in there, but we all know that's me.
She's both of us. She's mine. You can have her. She's mine.
Oh,
she's
let's have a throuple. Let's have a throuple with pockets on it.
Yeah, all right then. Let's have a comedy throuple.
Can you imagine how many pockets would be on our wedding dresses if the 3 of us got married?
It would just be made of pockets.
A trail that looks like those hanging racks for shoes that you have in Argos.
It would be a Polly Pocket.
75 of them sewed together. I'm going to wrap this up by just saying, please follow us on Twitter. That's where we put all our information up to date. We are on Instagram individually, but you're best off going to the Sink Girls on Twitter to find all the information. You can follow us on Facebook, Tea Kitchen Sink. If you look on YouTube, if you could, for our birthday present, subscribe, because we don't have enough at the moment to get a fancy URL on YouTube. So if you've ever enjoyed the Kitchen Sink, if you can just toddle over, pop on over to YouTube, give us a like, and make our dream come true of not having to be doing Facebook Tea Kitchen Sink, Twitch Tea Kitchen Sink, YouTube.
Please, can you also subscribe and tell about 50 of your best friends to subscribe to, please? Because you need, YouTube's impossible. You need 100 million people subscribing before you make any dollar from it. So yeah, I don't know what accent that was.
Sorry. That was you doing the RuPaul Australian dollar challenge, weren't you?
What?
Dollar?
Good eye. I'm wearing my sides. Anybody want a Barbie? I am
Right.
available for voiceovers. That's all I
Yes,
can
you
say.
are. I mean, I thought you were just going to say I'm available. I'm going to take the
Well, that's
reins
a
and I'm
given.
going to wrap this up. So thank you, Sarah, for inviting your friend Angela onto the show. Thank you very much for the last 12 months. I never thought we were still going to be going, or the fact that we were going to get slick as fuck and get a following.
Despite best efforts, we're still here.
Yes,
it's been an adventure and a journey, and I want to get drunk now.
I know, I can see it in your eyes. You've had one glass of wine, you never drink, you're always sucking on some sort of plant-based tofu or something. The sugars must be running through your veins, darling. So thank you everyone for watching, tuning, telling people about it, and of course for commenting on the chat, because you are the extra team member that makes this show so possible. Even you weirdos on Twitch, we fucking love you all. So thank you so much. I'm
fucking love it.
Right, I am going to press the out credits, and we're going to wave goodbye, and then it's going to stop, and there's going to be an awkward 5 seconds before the broadcast ends, just to let you know what's happening. Because end broadcast. So thank you very much from the kitchen sink. Be safe, be yourself, and be wonderful.
See you next week.
Bye.
Well, that was the kitchen sink. Did we make you laugh? Did we make you think? You can now go to the loo. You can treat yourself to that great big poo. And we will see you next week. Yeah!